gonna eat them right out of the garden?
Yeah.
What's been the hardest thing about starting a homestead? What's been hard?
Actually, I don't know.
Hard meaning hard work, or hard meaning hard on your heart, like emotionally hard?
Hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to feed the pigs because they keep knocking the bucket over.
Okay, so that's hard work, right? What's been something that's been hard on your heart, like losing an animal or something like that?
Losing my favorite animal.
Yeah. It was hard when we lost the pigs last year, wasn't it? That was something that was really hard. That was unexpected, and it kind of felt like we failed a little bit at the moment, didn't it? Right? But what is one thing we're learning about homesteading?
We're learning about rabbits and peacocks. We're still not successful about quail.
Yeah, we haven't been so great about the quail. What's one thing that you think we've done really well?
We've been really taking care of our ducks and chickens and pigs.
Okay.
Which are really successful.
Okay, so we've taken very good care of our animals. Do you think our animals are happy?
Yes.
Yeah. How does it feel to know that like some of our animals are going to be food?
Not really.
Why? Tell me why.
Because I've seen it happen before, and it's just fun.
How do we make it not hard? Do we kind of like keep it in our head that their purpose is going to be that they're food? Yeah, we kind of keep it in our head that we love them and they're fun, right? They're fun to play with, and scratch, but like they're going to be food. And that's okay, right? Yeah. It's okay because we're giving them the best life we can while they're alive, and then there'll be food, and that's okay. All right, what's your favorite animal on the homestead?
Well, I think, I don't have a favorite. They're all my favorite.
Okay.
Really. I love the ducks. I love the baby piglets. Are really cute.
What are you most surprised about, like, animal that maybe you didn't think you were going to love, but you love?
I wasn't going to think I was going to love the piglet. No. I thought I wasn't going to like
Big hogs?
the big hogs, but then when I actually saw them for real life, I actually started to like them.
Yeah. The big hogs scared me too. When we first got those big hogs, I don't think I was prepared for how big they were going to be. I saw pictures, but I don't think I really realized how big they were going to be. So I think at first I was like, oh no, we made a big mistake. This was over our head. But now that we have them and we've gotten to know them and we've gotten to know their personalities, we really, really love them, don't we? Yeah. Pigs have such personality. I would never ever in my childhood thought I would love these big pigs so much. They're so cute. Right? And they do have personality, don't they? This is Faith. Good morning. Good morning. This is Faith's babies. Hey babies. And this is Piggy Smalls. He's Dad. And he's a monster, but he is so sweet. Right, baby boy? Hey, mister. Hey, mister. Oh, the flies are getting you, aren't they? Yeah, I think that's been a big one for me. I don't think that I realized I was going to love the hard animals so much. Like, I never in a million years growing up in New Jersey, living on a golf course, thought I would be knee deep in pig poop and, you know, other things, and loved it so much. Gosh, your babies are getting big. Look how big they're getting. Hey, Mama, good job. Look how big they're getting. So this week we'll separate. The piglets are about 8 weeks old now, which is about time to wean them. So we'll separate them from their mom this week, and she'll go into heat again 3 to 4 days after we separate her and not allow her to nurse. So we're really considering what's the next best move for our big hogs. They eat a lot. They eat about 50 pounds a day, right? Between the two of them. they eat about 50 pounds a day. But now the babies are also starting to eat, and there's 7 of them here left on the farm. So she blew mud in your eye? So we're thinking now about what our next move is going to be. If we want to continue to feed these big guys at 50 pounds a day, that's a lot. Or if we want to raise up a couple of the babies as breeders, which means a little bit less feed a day, of obviously until they get old enough to breed, and not keep a male. So one of our choices is to move the mom and dad onto another farm, let somebody else enjoy them as breeders for a little bit, and then raise up 2 females as breeders. And then we would stud out a male, meaning we would send them to another farm to mate. Look at them getting in the mud. That's so cute. Isn't that adorable? Look. And so that's one possibility. Another possibility is breeding these big guys one more time. The gestation period for these hogs is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. So 3, 3, 3. So that means if we breed her again now, bleeding?
Yeah, look at his.
The hoof is bleeding?
Yeah, look at it. See it?
In the back? Yeah, it just looks like it nicked it. It's okay. If we breed them again now, we'll have piglets by August, September. So
November.
September, October, November, almost Christmas, which is worrisome because piglets are susceptible to the cold. So by December here, it's getting pretty cold. We could still do it and use a heat lamp, which is also an issue because we don't have electricity way out here yet. And
Look at the way it's sitting.
we could try it and hope that that goes okay. Or we wait to the spring, but that means feeding them for that many more months. So that's not something that we're necessarily really wanting to do. I would rather try to breed them one more time before moving them on, but I'm just not sure we have enough time before it gets really, really cold. And then we have a whole other issue of trying to keep these babies safe from the cold. So that's something we have to decide in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, is what we could do with the big hogs, and if we want to try to breed them one more time, or if we want to move them on to another farm. Something we've learned about pigs, and we did learn this the hard way. Well, last year we lost 2 pigs. We lost 2 cooney pigs to what I thought was the heat. It was May, and it was an extremely hot day, like so hot, oppressively hot. Like just being outside, you got overheated just walking from one place to the other. And they died very quickly. So my husband believes that they were struck by a snake due to the fact that they had damage around their noses and coagulation that was strange, and that they died so quickly. Pigs absolutely need a waller, which is mud, right? A mud hole. And they need water. And they actually need the waller, the mud hole, more than they need the water. So if they had no water to drink, they would live longer with a mud hole than they would having water and no mud hole. So what I thought happened last year, and I beat myself up for a long time, was that I moved them the day before, and I really thought that they died from heat exposure and exhaustion. Everybody I spoke to said there's no way they would have died in that short of amount of time. I checked on them at like noon, and they were dead by 3, like stone cold dead. Everybody believes that it was a snake bite, but that has made me, and I do believe now that that's what it was too, based on everything I've read and everything I've heard. But that did make me hyper aware of the fact that pigs need mud. So one of the things that I make sure they never run out of is mud. These big guys will make mud by spilling their water over if they have to. Like if they feel like they need more mud than they have, they'll tip their water in it. He's got a piece of tarp over his nose. Look.
How do you do that?
It was in the mud pit. And in her pen over here, we'll flood that if it starts to run out of mud. So people think pigs are dirty, and they'd like to get dirty, but they get dirty because they don't sweat. And so the mud kind of coats their skin in like a protective layer, protects them from the sun. They are susceptible to sunburn, and it protects them from, it's a way of cooling off without without, okay, he got it off. Way of cooling off without being able to sweat. So although pigs are dirty in mud, they're actually clean animals, pretty clean animals. They go to the bathroom in one spot. Like if you were to walk around this pen, you'd see that back there is her bathroom. She always poops back there in that same spot. They're really good about not pooping near their food or pooping near their water or even pooping near their mud hole. His poop spot is over here in this like weird corner against the fence. So when people say pigs are dirty, that's not really true. They're muddy, dirt-y, but they're not dirty animals. They're not like filthy animals. They're very clean with themselves and their, which is why a lot of people keep pigs as pets in their home, because they're easily trained to go outside to the bathroom like a dog. Anyway, we would not keep these guys as pets, that's for sure. We love them so much. And it is kind of sad to think about moving them to another farm, but we could butcher them. But honestly, at their size and age, they really wouldn't be very good. They might be good. We've been told that the female might be good for sausage. And the male, you know, he's obviously an unfixed male, so he's still got all his working parts. His meat probably wouldn't taste good. That's why at about 2 weeks old, we castrated the male piglets, because there's a chance that uncastrated males will have what's called boar taint, and that's a hormonal change in the flavor of the meat that's kind of gross and gamey. And so if you castrate them, then you avoid that. And you castrate them when they're young. So these guys are already castrated. I had a friend come who's sort of a pig expert, and she taught me to do it. She did the first one, and then I did the other 5 males. And it was actually a really neat experience. It was, you know, it was scary a little bit, but it was a really neat experience. The worst part of it is their squealing, because their squealing sounds like they're freaking out or in pain when they're really not in so much pain. It's just their loud mouths. So we'll get that belly scratch. There goes Mama. She's getting in her mud. So I feel good about this. I feel like when they have mud, that's what they need more than anything else. I feel like that's a successful pig enclosure. I feel like I can rest assured knowing that they've got plenty of water.
All the piglets are jealous.
Yep, they've got plenty of mud. Those piglets can get in there. They're old enough now where they can get in there without drowning. He's got plenty of mud. Everybody is safe and secure. So like I said, we're not sure that those pigs last year died of anything that we did wrong, but it was a very hot day. They had flipped their water, but what the experts said was that they were dead at the same time. If they had died from heat exposure, one would have died and the other one would have been dying in that short amount of time, but like there's no way they both would have been stone cold, like rigor mortis dead in that short amount of time, except for something like a snake bite. And like I said, my husband did say that he saw puncture wounds to their face and coagulation around their snouts. So that was hard. It was a hard lesson. It made me absolutely vigilant about making sure that these guys have mud all the time. And, you know, we thought we were doing things right, and maybe we were. Maybe it had nothing to do with us at all, but, you know, it's one of those hard lessons, and at least it brings it to your attention. So these guys have been doing great. She actually had, how many piglets did she have initially? We think she had 13, right?
Yeah.
13, 12, 11, 10 she stepped on. Okay, so she had 12. She stepped on 3, which is pretty normal for a pig her size. As they're giving birth, you know, and in pain, they tend to step on some of the piglets that just don't know enough to get out of their way already, or that fast. Ooh, was that a pig sneeze?
Yes.
Bless you. And then one was severely injured, and we were going to put that piglet down. She probably stepped on that one too. It was like kind of ripped open, and a neighbor came to that one's rescue and wanted to care for it and take it to the vet. So they did. They spent an awful lot of money taking that piglet to the vet. And so now they have a pet hog at their farm.
I don't think they know how huge it's gonna get.
I think they do. I think they're prepared for how big she's going to get, but that was a female. So we have 7 piglets here, 2 females and 3 males. Did I say that right? 5 males and 5 males and 2 females, right? So those females we're going to probably raise up to be breeders. And that way we could breed them like on a staggered basis. And then the males, we are going to butcher at least 3 and maybe sell the other 2. We're not 100% sure about that yet. They'll be ready to butcher about November. So those guys are going to the freezer.
So we had some black copper mirrors, and somehow they came over here, and now they're staying out with the pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they like to jump over the fence and go over there to him because he gets eaten up by horseflies, and his ears have holes in them.
Yep.
From the horseflies.
So that's helping them, right? Those chickens are actually helping the pigs.
Yeah, and then my chicken over there, he's a rooster, and he's over there also helping the boy pig right now.
Yeah. So the chickens, she's saying that the chickens are in here, and that helps keep the
Horseflies down.
Horseflies down, and the maggots, fly maggots down from, the poop and stuff. It kind of breaks that parasite cycle. So the chickens and the pigs are kind of living in a symbiotic relationship right now. The chickens will have to go back to their pen at some point, but right now they're helping out, and they're keeping the horseflies off the pigs because they tend to do a lot of damage to their ears.
I'm kind of glad that the chickens are in here and keeping the horseflies down because that male is getting really hurt.
Yeah, his ears are pretty chewed up by the horseflies. So, okay, that's a little bit of our TED Talk on big hogs today. Hope you have a great day.